What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another Hoppy update. If you enjoy this content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. None of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Alright, so as usual, we're going to start off with a little technical analysis update. And if you guys have been watching any of my previous content, you know I've had Bitcoin drawn on this bear flag for like the last week. And I've been talking about how bear flags break down 68% of the time, and you also add in the fact that the stochastics were extremely overbought. There was a very high likelihood that we were going to drop. However, what I am looking for personally is to see if Bitcoin can put in some form of inverted head and shoulder pattern. As of right now, we already have the left shoulder and we have the head. If we can put in a higher low, then we could fill out a right shoulder. And inverted head and shoulder patterns are usually very bullish. We just don't want to see price action come down here and put in a lower low. And do understand, bear flags usually do put in lower lows, which is why this would be a bullish anomaly. If the bear flag completely plays out, then it would take us down to around 73,500. But there is a chance that we can put in a right shoulder. And what I've been wanting to see is that the stochastics start to reset. And you can see that the stochastics are already getting down into the oversold region, which is good to see. So keep your eyes on whether or not we can put in a higher low. Now, if you look at Ethereum, Ethereum does not look as good as Bitcoin right now. You can see that if this candle were to close right now, this would be the lowest close that Ethereum has had recently. But I want to continue pointing out the larger time frames for Ethereum, and this is why I'm bullish on Ethereum still. For example, if you look at the weekly time frame, we're extremely oversold in the stochastics. And it's not just the weekly, it's the 2 week, it's the 1 month, it's the 3 month, pretty much every larger time frame is extremely oversold. And if you go and backtest Ethereum's history as to what has happened when we've been oversold, we've broken out nearly every single time. In addition, the major players are loading up for a reason. Look at BlackRock, for example. They have recently accumulated 1% of Ethereum. If you're doubting Ethereum, ask yourself the question, why are they loading up? Throughout history, it has usually been a terrible idea to bet against BlackRock. Now, if we take a look at Hoppy, it's playing out as expected. It's getting sold off with the market. But what I want to point out for Hoppy is that it actually had a very strong bounce when the market bounced. Hoppy bounced about 142% from the lows. That is a lot more than most projects. And honestly, that's exactly what we needed to see. A lot of people were getting super bearish on Hoppy, but this is at least a good sign. And I understand that there are going to be people who are getting extremely bearish yet again. But if we compare this to something like Pepe, you can see that Pepe actually bounced 78% from the lows. So Hoppy bounced close to 2 times more than Pepe. Now, does that mean that Hoppy is just going to explode when the market finally recovers? And does it guarantee that we're ever going to see Hoppy at all-time highs again? No, it does not. But this is a good start. Especially if, similar to Bitcoin, we can see Hoppy come down here and put in a higher low. And definitely if we see Hoppy close above this level right here. It's at about 401928. If we can see Hoppy close above this level, then I'll definitely be bullish. But at the bare minimum, we need to close above this previous low. Then we could truly begin showing signs of an uptrend. And obviously closing is just the beginning, but we also would like to see us put in a higher local high. So from a technical analysis standpoint, Hoppy does not look as bad as it has looked in the past, but we are definitely not in the clear yet. Look to see if we can put in a higher low. If we look at the Hoppy X account, not a whole lot has changed recently. They're still posting every day and they're still keeping the community engaged. I talk about this all the time, but this is very important. If you look around, you'll see that a lot of projects out there don't really post during a market downtrend. That's not ideal to see because the reality is that the market is built on psychology. As a project, it is very important for you to keep your community engaged when we are seeing blood. But honestly, there's not much else for me to go over with Hoppy. Again, we started to show a lot of strength, but then Hoppy broke down because Bitcoin broke down. There's nothing that you can do about that. Bitcoin was in a bear flag. It was pretty much inevitable that it was going to break down. Now for Hoppy and Bitcoin, we are looking to put in higher lows. If we can do that, then the market truly could start to turn around. All of that being said, though, if you guys are interested in joining a like-minded community and getting into projects super early like Hoppy, then I also recommend taking a look at my Discord. We're here for the pumps, we're here for the dumps, we're here for everything. As a lot of you guys know, I first posted a buy alert for Hoppy at a $580,000 market cap. At its all-time high, you could have been up over a 253x. Just to put that in perspective, a $1,000 investment could have turned into over $250,000. So if this is the kind of community that sounds interesting to you guys, I have the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to see you guys in here. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you guys believe in Hoppy for this bull run. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.